What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Torrence, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be giving you my version of a no makeup look. Right now, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm wearing foundation. I have a little concealer on. We have brows, we have mascara, and this is my way of going in using all of those products and still trying to get a really natural look, as well as a look that you all can follow. Anyone who's not new to my channel understands I can use 100 brushes and spend 10 hours and have no issues at all. I like to cake on the foundation, I like to put on the baking powders, I like to use about 4 or 5 different vibrant colors on the eyes, but many times that can come off as very shocking and dramatic. And in a day-to-day basis, most people don't have the time, the energy, or the desire to wear such a look. So with the one I'm wearing today, I wanted to make sure that I could do something that I could record and post and you all could follow along with me. I think total we only used 2, maybe 3 brushes today. Most of the products are going to be applied with the fingers, our most essential tools in makeup. So if you want more videos like this, just make sure you give this one a thumbs up. But if you would like to know how I achieved this look, just go ahead and continue to watch. Time to get started. First thing up, prepping the lips. I already have lip balm on. My current favorite is the Paula's Choice Lip and Body Treatment Balm. Looks like this. I just take this, it's a screw on top. I actually just finally finished this one here. She's completely empty. I've scraped out the bottom as well as I could, but I have this brand new one here that I started this morning. And just for the sake of the tutorial, we're gonna add a little bit more because this will be the only product we'll leave on the lips today. I did my skincare already, and I just wanna make sure I lock that moisture in by putting a balm on top of it. For primer, just because I have oily skin, I like to always go in with the mattifying primer right here on the sides of the nose. This is the Becca Evermatte Poreless Primer Perfector. And as you can see, she's still holding on. I only have a little bit left in this package. Gonna take just that tiny pea size amount, spread that between 2 fingers, and just line that on the side of the nose. Oop, already went in with a little too much. Gonna thread that over here across the large pores in the T-zone. I don't have to bring it up the size of the nose. My main concern is right here in the very corners where my oils tend to settle the most. Next, for primer, we're going to go in with the Clinique Super Primer in the shade Universal. This is just my old school favorite primer before I found the Maybelline one, but because I still have this too, I'm going to go ahead with this one. If I'm wearing a full coverage face, usually that involves me baking, which is why I prefer a hydrating primer, but because we're not going to bake today, we can go in with just this normal primer. Just rub that between the fingers, press it in place all over the face. I'm going to do the eyes as well. And then I usually like to press it first, especially right here around the nose where we have that other primer, because I don't want to move that. But for other areas, like especially the lower neck, right here around the eyes, you do whatever feels comfortable for you. In certain areas, I prefer to just swipe, like right here underneath the brows. But down here closer to the lid, I like to press. Forehead, I don't mind just swiping. I got a 5 head, it doesn't matter. And you just want to blend until you realize there's no areas of primer just sitting. Don't forget to blend down on the neck. And you can already see with just primer how we already have the appearance of smoother skin and smaller pores. It's one of the main reasons why I absolutely love primer. Some people say it's not essential, but for me, I don't want to be without it. Next up, for brows, this is the Patrick Ta Shaping Wax. I've been using this for quite a while. I recently switched over to the Fenty Beauty one just because that's newer in my collection. But throughout the summer, whenever I wanted just a simple, quick brow look, I didn't want to take the time to worry about blending, what color, things like that. I've been using this tinted wax here, And at first it was a little weird to get used to, but I absolutely love it now. The only thing you need is either a disposable or a permanent spoolie. I have the e.l.f. Lash Brow Wand. Absolutely love this. And you do need some type of liquid to activate it. I'm gonna just take this, my Evian facial spray. I'm gonna just take a tiny little spray right here. I'm gonna show you, just like that. And as you can see, we have a little water that's gonna drip down. And I wanna try to drag that water to the right spot. And when that water's there, you just swirl your brush back and forth like this. And it'll sort of start to turn that into a more cream-like substance. And if you feel as if it's a little thick, you can go back to another spot that has a little more water. And I know this can look messy at first, but I promise you, this is one of the funnest things I've ever done in my makeup routine as far as brows go. Because it's just crazy to me. I've never really tried waxes until this year. And the way that they lock your brows in place, it's like no other. So we're just gonna start here. I wanna start in the front just because that's where my brows are the thickest. And you just sweep this product up through the brows first. Starting at the bottom and coming up through the top. And we wanna do this all the way through until your brows are thoroughly coated. And because they tend to grow toward the back, sort of this way, I want to brush them toward the front just a little bit to make sure I get that product throughout the brows. And once I have that lined up, I'm just going to take my spoolie and bring just the very tips of those hairs down to line up and give me a sharp edge. And that is all we are going to do today, honey. And you can see how I leave the brow lifted up, and you may not really be able to tell a difference on camera, but in person, each brow hair looks separated. They're all just lifted and fluffed, and they honestly look like I have fuller brows in person. I'm gonna see if I can tell the difference on camera. This is the one with wax in it. This is the one without. I'm going to add a little more water to this, do the other side, and I'll be right back. Baby, those brows are looking thick, they are looking full, separated. What more could you ask for? Next for foundation, because I want to try to keep things looking as natural and soft as possible, as you see with the brows, we don't want any filled in lines, we don't want anything sharp, we just really want to accentuate what we already have. So for foundation, I have to go with the most lightweight coverage foundation that I have in my collection. Otherwise, I'm known for going overboard. Either I'm playing in my makeup or I'm not. And with this routine, one of my absolute favorite foundations to wear, MAC Face and Body. This here is the largest bottle that they carry. This is 120 milliliters or 4 ounces for $40. They also carry a smaller size, which is 50 milliliters. And I believe that's about 1.7 ounces, but that one's $33. So when you think it's truly worth spending that extra $7 to get more than double the product. This product comes in, I believe, 30 to 40 different colors. My shade is C6. They do carry them in shades that are lighter and darker. I personally recommend either going in store and getting shade matched or finding out your shade in a different MAC foundation and they can convert that over. I usually try to wear about an NC45 depending on the time of the year. This is a foundation I truly recommend that you shake before every single use. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that a few shakes now. Everything should be mixed now. When I tell you this is a lightweight foundation, as in light on the skin and light in the coverage, it comes with this small dropper here. It doesn't have a pump or anything. And it's so thin that when you turn the bottle upside down, product starts to drip out. So I'm telling you, when I say lightweight, it just comes out without squeezing it. But I'm gonna go ahead, put just a few more drops, and we're gonna stop there because we can always come back and add more. And although I am not a fan of using my fingers, I promise you, that is the best way to apply this foundation. You just dip your fingers into the back of the hand where we have the product. And what I like to do is just start wherever you feel as if you need the most coverage and you just blend it all the way out. For me, I like to cover the 5 o'clock shadow area, and then I go back in and just tap. You're going to use your fingers like a beauty blender, and you're going to work in one section, blend that out, and then just start to work over to another area. Although we started with product right here around the edges of the face, just because I want to get more coverage there, you see we're just going to blend that out to another area. Once I feel as if I've run out of coverage, just keep going and grabbing a little more. And I'm going to cover my entire face with this underneath the eyes as well as on top of my lids. And you can see how this almost disappears right into the skin. The color is such a beautiful match and such a lightweight coverage that you don't have to worry about streaks and things like that. Especially with us using our fingers, we're going to get the warmth from our hands to help this blend. And I want you to just get a look at this color match here. I put nothing on my upper lids and my forehead, nothing on my neck, and it still lets my skin shine through. I can still see a hyperpigmentation spot, but this coverage here looks like skin, and that's the whole point here. So I'm going to go ahead, add a little more product to the back of my hand because I've run out. Now we're going to target that forehead and that neck. Put a little bit right here on top of the eyelids. Just run that straight across. Make sure I hit that outer corner because that's where I have the most discoloration around the eye. Okay, dip. I just put way too much on that one eye. But because this is such a light coverage foundation, mistakes are easily corrected. Just press, press, press. Take some of that off of there and start working down here just to help transfer some of that product. Once again, making sure that under eye as well as that outer corner is covered. Now we're just going to hit the neck. And the closer I get down to the bottom of my neck, the more I can just go ahead and just swipe. And as you can see, I've covered the entire face. This has a satin finish, so you don't have to worry about it coming off overly matte or anything. If you're someone who has really dry skin, you may be comfortable with this and not adding any powder or anything. But I am someone who likes to go a little bit further than this. So before we go ahead and powder, because I do have oily skin, I want to go in and add a little bit of concealer. And because the whole theme is to try to stay and look as natural as possible, the last thing I want to do is go in with a concealer that will cover any and everything. I have acne and there are some hyperpigmentation spots, so at the end of the day, I'm really not worried about if any of that shows through in my final look, but I do like to cover a few areas, and my main concern for me is my under eye area, as well as the dark corners that I have. I'm just going to go in with a very light coverage concealer, and that is my YSL Touche Eclat. Trust me, baby, this pen here works magics. You just have to make sure you grab the right one, because YSL makes two different pens. They cost the same price, but if you go on the website or a store that sells them, you may not know which one to get. I'm using the All Over Brightening pen. That is the most popular one. This is the cult favorite. They also have one called the High Cover Radiant Concealer. I've never tried it, so I can't give an opinion on it. But this one here, fan favorite. I'm using it in the shade 4.5 because I want something that's going to act more like a concealer, not something that's going to give me a bold, bright highlight. And the proper way to use this product is you have to click the button here on the back. I'm going to go ahead and press it twice. See if that releases any product, because I don't want to add too much. My main concern is going to be going right here for my under eye circles. And I want to show you, we're going to take this just here. As far as that line appears for my dark circles, if you look straight in the mirror, you can usually see exactly where there is a crease, where it appears that the circles start and stop. And I want to take that and just bring that right here. Try to use as much of this product in this area, splitting it up evenly if possible. And any remaining product I have, I'm going to take and just press right here in the sides. Just going to continue to apply this until it doesn't leave any more product. And that's all I'm going to apply concealer for. I don't want to go in, try spot concealing and covering everything up, because then you will have a flawless canvas and that'll just be a dead giveaway that you're wearing a face full of makeup. So I'm going to take my finger again and we're just going to blend this right in that area. We don't want to try to bring this down. We don't want to try to drag it out. We just really want to blend that up to the lash line and down just enough to diffuse the edges. Making sure we really press right here on that outer corner and get up as close to the lash line as possible. And you can see how that just lifts the eye, gives me a bright, well-rested look. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Next, to set the entire face, I'm going to be going in with my Real Technique setting brush. I'm going to be using this just to set around the eye area, because the brush that I'm going to use on the rest of the face I feel is a little too large for the eye area. So we're going to take this, dip it into your favorite translucent powder. I'm using a mixture of Midnight and Sasha Cosmetics. I'll make sure I leave the ratio down in the description bar below. I have a little bit of powder right here on this glass coaster. Just going to swirl our brush into the product. Tap off as much powder as we can possibly get off the brush. Then I'm going to use my finger, blend out any creases underneath the eye, and then just go in and set that as lightly as we can possibly get it. And set that as lightly as possible. Now we're just going to go ahead, close our lid, and use whatever remaining product we have and do that on the top of the eye. Just use that to barely apply powder and set everything. This here is just to make sure that we don't have any creases or anything, especially if you have hooded lids. A lot of times you want to make sure you set those. And as you can see, that's going to help prevent creasing around the eye area. Now to set the rest of the face, I would recommend you using the largest powder brush that you can find and feel comfortable with your face shape. I have a really large head with large features. So many times my favorite brush is the e.l.f. Cosmetics number 3, the Heavenly Luxe Jumbo Powder Brush. This is a very large brush, and it's also, I believe, for my opinion, it's rather expensive, but I tend to try to catch them on a half off sale when I buy them. But you can see, a brush this big allows me to pick up a bunch of powder, go bam, bam, all over the place and hurry up and get the job done. Another very large alternative that I have is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH01 brush. Another large synthetic brush. And actually, I think Morphe even has these half off, because I got this from Ulta at half off. And once again, a very large powder brush gives you the chance to go ahead and stab powder on or just sweep it right across in a quick fashion. Two more brushes that I own, and I'm not sure if they still have them. I did check the Ulta website right before recording, and they say that this is the exact same brush, but it does look a little different, but I'll just take their word for it because I don't have it. What I have is the original powder brush with the orange handle and the black tip here, and the multitask brush with the pink head and the black tip. And both of these are from Real Techniques. they now have a brush called the 201 powder brush, and they say it's the same as this one, but to me it looks like it's a mixture of the two. It's larger than this but smaller than this. So if you can find either one of these or that particular brush, they'll all work. They'll all get the job done. All I'm interested in doing is applying just enough powder to set these things. I have oily skin, so I really like to have a little powder right here in the center of the face. But because I'm going to be wearing this for the rest of the day, I'm going to go ahead and just dust the rest of the face. You're going to just take a large brush, tap it into our powder and swirl it around a little bit. Try to knock off as much powder as possible, because once again, we just want to set things, we don't want to bake. And then I'm just going to take this. See, there's still a little too much for my liking. Give you one quick tap. You're going to see just how much powder comes off of this. And you saw that? It's still plenty of powder on this brush. So I recommend knocking off the powder off your brush to get the most natural look. We're going to just take this now and just stamp it right near the center of the face. And then just work our way around, just stamping a little bit of powder to make sure everything is just set. I'm going to do that just one more time to hit the neck. All our powder, hit this one more time to get that excess. And just stamp and sweep. And this brush is so big and so soft, honey. It makes you just want to keep buffing and playing and just... Last step, we're going to want to go ahead and do something to the eyes. Once again, try to go for the most natural mascara that you have in your collection. We want to accentuate things, not take over them. And for me, the most natural mascara that I have, I'm going to go back to MAC with our In Extreme Dimension 3D Black Lash. I have a sample here that I received, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one. A sample can take you easily a week or two to get through. So there's no point of buying a full size if I have this one plus many others to try out. And the reason I absolutely love this mascara is because it barely adds a tint to the lash, but it really separates them. It covers everything, but it's not something that'll give you off a dramatic look. So it's just perfect for today. Grab my mirror here, and you all know I like to start with the bottom lashes first. So we're gonna go ahead, start on the outer half. When I tell you, this mascara separates like no other. If you look, you'll see I'm just rolling the brush as I go because there are so many hairs on this brush. And it'll give you the best separation. Like, look at that finished eye there. That is just enough for me to notice that I'm wearing something, but the average person more than likely would not realize that you're wearing mascara. Good job. And mascara is not complete. You grab your cotton swab, clean up underneath your lower lash line. You just want to make sure there's no smudges or anything, because that'll be the giveaway that you're wearing mascara. And as much as I'm a fan of highlighting and contouring, to me, this is the time to skip both steps. Highlighter tends to draw your attention by creating a glow. Contour reconstructs the way the face looks. And to avoid doing too much of either one and drawing attention to the fact that you're wearing makeup, I'm not doing either one. I'm just gonna go ahead, add a little more lip balm to the lips because we have seen some of that dry down and I want a more hydrated look. So I'm gonna go ahead, apply just a tiny bit more of that. Now I want to go in and set everything. Normally, if I bake, I will go in with my Fix Plus to add a dewy look back to the skin because I don't want everything to look completely dry. Today, we're gonna skip that step and go straight to our Fix Plus because we just want to lock everything in the way it is. There's no need to alter anything because I've tried to stick to a natural look the entire time. And of course, we need all-nighter to last all day. Cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Gonna go ahead, give this a few more seconds to dry, and I'll be back to show you all the final look. And this is the final look. Want to go ahead, give you all a full face view of things. And for me, this is the simplest look that I think I personally can achieve on myself and still feel comfortable. I can personally look in the mirror right here in front of me and tell that I have mascara on. I can tell there's some type of foundation that's giving my skin the glow and reducing the look of my acne scars. And those actually peek through to give you a more natural look. But it also gives you the opportunity to look and see your actual skin and your texture. And truth be told, I tend to get more compliments when I'm wearing something like this on my skin than when I'm wearing something very full coverage. Although that's my personal preference to wear more full coverage, it tends to come off as intimidating to many people who either A, don't like foundation, or B, who don't know how to do makeup that well. So many times that's all they will see is just how much makeup you're wearing, not the skill and talent that went behind actually applying that. But I wanted to make sure I created something that I truly believe the general public can follow. More than likely, the hardest part about this makeup process will be getting the brows. Instead of going in with something like a brow wax instead of a pencil or a powder, you tend to have something that'll give you a much more natural look because you're not dealing with an actual color that can risk going into a different place that you don't want it. But I really hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you also leave me a comment down below letting me know if you have any of these tools in your makeup collection. I'm gonna make sure I can try to come up with more routines like this. Next week, I also plan on recording the video for the one eyeshadow tutorial using a shimmer look, so be expecting to use that. And don't forget to check out my playlist, which I'll link right here for my collections video. I'm going to start recording more brand tutorials showing you all of the eyeshadow palettes I have from that brand. I'm going to be recording more videos from different brands showing you the entire collection of eyeshadows I have from them. That way it'll give you an idea of what I have in my collection, as well as give you the opportunity to comment for which ones you want a tutorial for. But for now, remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye YouTube.